Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. You are now tuned into the Matthew Rizzle show. Yeah.
Hey everybody, before this week's show, just want to deliver a quick message from this month's sponsor, Cryptomotors. On July 29th, Cryptomotors, the world's first digital automaker powered by the Ethereum network, will launch the Gen 1 Neon Roadster drop, which includes 150 unique NFT production series cars with 5 original striking colors. The last launch sold out in minutes, so make sure you are quick to secure a Neon Roadster of your own. They will be available for purchase on OpenSea and distributed in 3 batches. Batch number 1 launches July 29th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Batch number 2 launches the next day on July 30th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. And batch number 3 launches July 31st at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Be on the lookout for ultra-rare hidden units that are virtual racer Neon Roadster models featuring a unique design, color, and other trait attributes. More details about the drop, available units, hidden units, and colors can also be found on Cryptomotors' Medium page. And you can also follow the drop and join the Cryptomotors community via Discord. Look out for those links in the show notes, and please enjoy today's episode. Okay, Sasha, welcome to the Matthew and Rizzle show.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really excited to talk today. And to get started, like we always kick off the show with, it'd be great to hear an introduction, a little bit of a background about yourself, and then everything that you're doing and building on Waves.
Yeah, so Waves, I'm like founder of Waves. We launched Waves long ago. It was launched 5 years ago in 2016, actually. So it's an alt chain, and it's a generic chain as Ethereum, as many other chains, totally different technically. So it was all coded from scratch. We have our own features that nobody else has. For example, gasless smart contracts. We have also DEX, which is integrated into the core of the system, works on level 1, many other things actually. So, and we've always had NFTs. We launched NFTs on our chain, I think more than 2 years ago. And now we actually are doing the same thing that many other projects do, many other chains. So this is a very good moment for NFTs, and we actually want to participate in this, like some kind of hype. So we launched our own thing. So it's developed by the core team. It's called Waves Ducks. It's an NFT game. We launched this 3 months ago, and we got some nice traction from the community. And now we are trying to scale it up. So basically, now we're starting the marketing. So it was directed towards Waves community mostly, but now we're trying to go beyond and trying to scale up. And I think that is going to be quite interesting. So it might be a little similar to other games on the market, but it's quite different actually. So I think it's a very good moment to start those type of games because I think there is a whole new market emerging now. This market of NFT gaming, and this is just the right moment to start it. So for us, it's not some kind of a way to make profit. It's mostly some way to promote Waves chain, which probably needs more promotion. So we want to show that we have everything basically, very cheap transactions, fast transactions, 1 second transactions. People can trade their NFT ducks on Waves through smart contracts. They can trade ECK token, which is the token that is needed to hedge NFTs on our DEX. So it's a great way to showcase what we have. and we are just starting to promote it. And I'm really excited about what's going to happen next, because I think we have a very good gameplay, and our tests, basically, we have tested it with our community, have showed that people love it. So I'm very excited about what happens next.
Dude, it's a cool project, and I know that it's been around for a long time, which is probably more than a lot of the alternative NFT blockchains that have sprung up recently can say for themselves. But I'm curious to hear your perspective, man. You know, obviously a lot of people are looking for, NFT minting solutions that have a reasonably low barrier to entry, that low transaction costs and minting fees and everything. You know, I see the Waves provides that. How do you sort of like differentiate yourself from the pack of, the various layer 2 solutions, the other alternative NFT blockchains? Like, how do you think Waves will be able to stand out when it's all said and done?
Yeah, so basically we're not an NFT chain. So like in terms of like functionality, we're close to Ethereum. So basically we have everything. It's a generic chain, and we have NFTs as well. It so happens actually. So in terms of like some benefits for users, for like developers, we have very cheap and fast transactions. I think it's quite important. We have an integrated DEX, so you don't have to go to like other like some kind of layer 2 solutions or some platforms that provide you with like DEX functionality. There is a DEX integrated into the core of the system. What else? Many smaller features. For example, you can pay for token transactions with the token itself. So it's quite nice. And on Ethereum, it's quite hard to do. So basically, there is this egg token that you need to play the game, and you can pay for egg transactions with egg itself. So you don't have to have Waves to spend money on Waves chain. And there's like a lot of smaller features actually that basically make us stand out and make us quite different. So I don't think that they're like kind of revolutionary, but it's a nice way to have another set of features, I guess. Because it's the most like obvious. It's very cheap and very fast, because if you log into Waves Exchange, for example, and try to trade, it's a decentralized exchange. You won't notice that it's a DEX, basically, because the transactions are very fast. So it works exactly like a centralized exchange. So I think we have a lot of things that people don't know about. And before like pushing totally new things, we want to make sure that people know about what we have.
And towards that end of, I guess, spreading awareness so that more people know about the functionality and the features that Waves offers, is your focus now on the gaming aspects and the NFT side to kind of garner that attention, to open people's eyes to Waves? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So for us, so as I said at the beginning, so we are developing this game with our core team. So it's not some kind of like game that is developed by other developers. We do it ourselves, actually. So we want to make sure that the game is successful, and we want to attract more people to Waves. Actually, that's what we want to do. We have many other projects, so none that are like being developed not only by the core team, of course. Also, we have NFT platforms. We have a good project on Waves, which is developed by an independent team. It's called Sign App, and it's a very nice digital art platform. We also have everything that Ethereum projects have running. So it's not in development, it's running. So we have liquidity pools, we have DEXs, we have everything. And it's another thing which is quite important for us. In around August, we're going to launch liquidity pools on our DEX. It's quite interesting because I think it's quite new for crypto, not only for Waves, because our DEX is like very different from Ethereum DEXs. It has an order book, for example. So if you look at it, if you take a look at it, you'll see that it looks like a traditional exchange, like a centralized exchange. And we will add liquidity pools functionality there. So basically, we'll be able to add liquidity to any pair. So it's going to be some kind of a cross between centralized and decentralized exchanges, at least in terms of like functionality for users. It's quite interesting. So this is another big thing for us. And we have stable coin projects. For example, our stable coin, the biggest stable coin on Waves is USDN, which has 400 million market cap. So many things. But what I really like about NFT gaming, I think this is a way to attract a very wide audience to crypto, because it reaches out to like more like generic internet audience. It's not for crypto people because I can see the traction. I can see that anybody can play those games. So not only people who were like in Waves ecosystem play this game now. Many new people, they like bring the people who don't know anything about crypto and they don't have any issues with onboarding. They can start playing the game very fast. So I can see this, I perceive this as a great way to promote mass adoption, basically, because you reach out to like normal people, to regular internet users, and they're excited to play your games. And I think it's very good for crypto because it somehow stayed in its own niche. And now we're actually, we're able to reach out to normal people. I think it's great. So we just can't miss that opportunity. And that's what we actually want to do. And this is not everything that we do, but I really like doing this, because I think this theme, it might be simple. It's gaming. It's not so maybe groundbreaking. But what is really groundbreaking, you work with like normal people who use social networks, people who basically are on TikTok and who didn't know anything about crypto. So you bring more people into crypto. And this is what we always wanted, not only Waves, but like we as community, as crypto community. So we really have to double down on our efforts and make sure that we can bring as many people in crypto as possible, basically.
Dude, I agree with your approach in terms of like trying to get the average user into crypto or NFTs. You sort of got to serve them up something that they're already familiar with that is like palatable. And you look at the way like Axie Infinity has just like exploded like really organically, and it's because of that same thing. They're serving it up in a way that people can digest and understand. So, dude, I get the angle. I mean, it certainly makes sense. A lot of projects are trying to, sort of take the blockchain out of the forefront of people's minds so they can interact with crypto and NFTs, like they would a regular user experience. Can you like spill any details about like the style of game or like the angle on it? I mean, I understand that it's nothing like necessarily revolutionary. And honestly, I don't think it has to be. I think it just has to be like fun and something that works and that people enjoy.
Absolutely.
And then, the path forward is obvious. But can you tell us a little about like the type of game or like details about the products you're unrolling?
Yeah, great question, actually. So because I think it goes a little bit deeper, actually. So I think crypto people are doing now what traditional gaming doesn't want to do, because they're doing fine, actually. They make a lot of money. They're on app stores, and probably if they add crypto, they would have problems with like Google and Apple, because it's like it's a great area still, So they don't want to actually to have any experiments, and crypto developers are doing that on their own. So they're doing probably the job of like traditional gaming developers now. So those games can be revolutionary in terms of like gameplay, because they don't have to be, as I said. They're very different, because like the mechanics that exist in those games is very different from like traditional gaming mechanics. Basically, you can make money playing those games, so it's not so easy in like traditional gaming. You can probably sell your like items on like some markets, but it's quite it's not so widespread, I would say, because publishers are not so interested in it, as far as I understand the market. And I'm not like a professional in gaming. That's like, I'm not trying to say that I really understand the market, but from what I have seen, this is my like opinion. And crypto gaming, NFT gaming is different because people can make money, and it just changes things, the whole thing becomes very different from what people have experienced before, because you can basically buy some tokens, come up with some strategy, how you use them. For example, in Waves DAX, it's not really obvious what the best strategy is, because probably there's not any one optimal strategy there. So you can try different strategies to make sure that your like profits actually are good, and there is no one single strategy. So it's quite interesting. So, for example, in Waves DAX, you need to buy X, some like tokens, and you need to hedge DAX with those X tokens. And those DAX that you have hedged basically bring you more X. So there is like some kind of non-linear mechanics that is really hard to grasp, so you can't say what the optimal strategy is. So it's quite interesting. So it's some kind of chess. It might be simpler as chess, but it's kind of like makes you think how you should proceed, and you make money along the way. So there is no some kind of like complicated, sophisticated gameplay as of now. Maybe we'll come up with it later when you, for example, will be able to have some like contests, and you'll be able to use your duck to fight another duck, for example, something like that. But people love what they see now, because they have not seen that before. This is something totally new, and those new things are simple at the beginning, definitely. So you can't make them really sophisticated because it doesn't make sense. You have to make something very simple that appeals to people, that people understand, and start from there, So you just need to like formulate these mechanics, which is more interesting to people, And I think in NFT gaming, you have this opportunity, you have this ability to make money. Basically, you offer your users a way to profit from playing the game, and gameplay is fun actually, because there is like different strategies. You have to think, you have to choose the right strategy for you. So there's like several degrees of freedom here. It's not so linear. So it's quite interesting. And if you look at Waves DAX, I think we have great ducks, great, they look great, and people love to like breed them, because you need to cross different ducks to create a duck with higher rarity. And the more rare, the higher the rarity, the more eggs you get, basically. So you need to cross to breed ducks by like combining them. And it's interesting because different parts of different ducks are combined. So there's like Elon duck, Elon Musk duck, and there's Satoshi duck, and you like combine them together, and you get some like mutant duck, which is like some kind of combination. It's quite fun, people love it, because you can come up with crazy ducks. And there's like several generated ducks, for example, some meme ducks, and you can combine 6 different ducks, all crypto memes. For example, Bogdanov brothers are there, so you can come up with a crazy looking duck, so it's fun in and of itself, basically, so, and you can make money on top. What can be better? So my idea is, if I should summarize this, this gameplay is something that people have never had, so they're having like a lot of fun with it, and we can build on top, of course. So this is some kind of like foundation for the future development, and we will come up with like different things. But for now, it has to be simple, because actually you can't make it complicated for now, because you don't have to.
Cool. And then, well, as Waves DAX is finding its model and growing and attracting users. Are there any other like developers out there in the Waves ecosystem working on or tinkering on any other games to launch on Waves?
Yeah, we have had some people before, like around like maybe 2 years ago with games. Now we have some kind of a pause, I think, and now we're starting an incubator now. So because some history about Waves, so we have been working on our smart contracts for a couple of years, and we actually finished the development of our smart contract language a couple of months ago, basically. And now we have the same functionality that we have in Ethereum with some like advantages. So for now, it's start promoting. It's time to start promoting. So we're gonna have incubator now, and we're gonna try to attract more developers. And probably we're gonna have like a separate track in that incubator devoted exclusively to NFTs, basically. So maybe we'll make a whole new incubator for an NFT project. So if we see some traction with DUX, hopefully, I think we'll make a platform out of it, because we'll be ready to actually offer this as a platform for NFT games. And you'll be able to launch not only DUX, but any kind of like frogs or whatever you have. So and it can be quite interesting, because we are able to create a platform for any games, and it's good for us because people who come to crypto now, they don't know much about the underlying blockchain. So if you have Ethereum and level 2 solutions on Ethereum, it doesn't mean that there shouldn't be any projects on different chains. So for now, it's a good moment to attract new people, and people go directly to us. They wouldn't go to Ethereum projects, they would go to our chain, and hopefully we'll stay there. So and we're trying to do the NFT thing because this is like the most attractive thing for developers now, and we have to really make sure that we don't waste our efforts on something that people don't need. So, and at the same time, it's a lot of fun. I must say that I enjoy this like immensely, and because it's fun, it's just fun.
Dude, I would love to see how many ducks you own.
Yeah.
Dude, I agree, man. I think as the space progresses, people are going to care less and less about like what blockchain is what, and where things are living, and just if you are in the beginning here cornering the generative duck market, then you can probably make a good space for yourself within that niche and expand on it, just like you've said, as people become more comfortable with it. But I'm curious, man, like some of the different NFT spaces, platforms, blockchains out there, I feel like all of them have their different barriers to entry in terms of onboarding people who are not crypto familiar. I know you said that Waves has its own DEX incorporated in it, which is clearly like a step beyond a lot of other solutions out there. But what do people need like in order to get Waves on the DEX? Like in terms of the average person stumble upon these ducks, they want to breed some ducks. Like what's the lowest point of entry, or like the easiest way for someone to get a duck?
Yeah, it's actually quite it's an interesting question. Thank you. So basically, it's quite independent from. It's not something that is quite independent from like Ethereum ecosystem, and you can do that without any kind of knowledge of Ethereum. For example, you go to Waves Exchange, you create an account, an address there, and you can buy X directly with a credit card, actually. And it's fun that it's quite interesting that you can have an account at Waves Exchange with your email and password. Actually, it's a decentralized exchange, but you can use your like email for authorization. The way you do that on Gmail, for example, or not on Gmail, but like on Facebook, for example. So it's good for like regular people, and we have some advantages compared to Ethereum ecosystem, for example. So people just can register an account, buy an act with a credit card, go to wavesducks.com and start hatching. So it's quite independent. It's something which is like quite complete. It's like something quite complete and independent from other projects. So that's why it's interesting for us, because we can showcase what we have. We can show that we have some kind of a full ecosystem that has everything. And, there is some like onboarding process that we can go through and basically do whatever you want to do on the blockchain. What you can do on Ethereum, you can do on Waves, maybe in a different way, but you can do that. So it's quite easy, and we have some structure which is quite complete. For people, onboarding process is quite straightforward, and it's quite good for us because it shows that you don't have to leave Waves ecosystem. You can stay there and do whatever you want within the Waves ecosystem.
So, well, obviously the NFT gaming system today is still rather small, right? I mean, I can really only think of a couple. There's Axie Infinity kind of leading the way yesterday, doing $22 million in revenue, bringing in $1 million to the actual project. Freaking insane, right? And then other initiatives or projects that I'm hearing about being worked on over on the Flow blockchain, right? And talking with insiders, because Axie is also on its own chain, Ronin, right? Of why they had to spin up their own blockchain versus like building on any of the other layer 2 solutions or any of the other blockchains that are out there. A lot of it comes down to just the game specificity, right? It's very specific in what it wants to do. And a lot of other blockchains, they have, their structure already set up, and it's hard to accommodate every little idiosyncrasy that the game creators and designers want to include. So I'm just curious, like, how is Waves positioning itself to kind of accommodate more game developers and builders, if that's the direction you guys want to go? Or maybe you just want to kind of be a general purpose. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, we want to be a general purpose. No, but we have to, choose some focus, which is like appropriate for the current moment, I guess. So now we have NFTs, and I personally think that, for example, digital art thing is quite strange for me. I don't think it's going to be very big. It's big already, but I think it's going to become a little smaller, because there's a couple of projects there is a couple of things that people don't solve with like digital art NFTs. But this thing is perfect. It's just perfect for mass adoption, just perfect. For attracting new people to your chain, to any chains, to crypto in general. So I think that if we do the platform, if we are successful with Waves Ducks and turn it into a platform, it's going to be huge for us. And we'll do like an incubator, some kind of like section or portion of our incubator will be devoted to NFTs, or it will be a separate incubator, totally independent incubator for projects. But we're going to be focusing on developers, of course. But for now, I think we must show that we can get some traction on our own. So that's why our core team, like people who usually don't do things like that, are basically doing ducks and talking about ducks all the time. So and for another thing which is quite important, actually, how we try to attract people. So as I said, it's a non-profit thing for us. So it's just we will probably make some profit, but not directly, because we'll attract more people to Waves, more developers, and we actually promote Waves through this. For example, to get tokens, to get ACT tokens, you need to complete some tasks. You can buy them from our DEX, but if you don't have that much money, or you don't want to, if you're just some kid, because there is a lot of kids, like 10 to 12-year-old kids who play ducks, they could complete some tasks. They can just, write some message about Waves on social network and get some max. So for us, the mass adoption is the most important thing, because we probably didn't do too well in terms of like traction. And for us, it's quite important now to attract as many attention as much attention to waves as possible. It should be, it could be developers, it could be users, but we need to have more people or more action on waves because we have a very good technology actually. Yeah, so it's quite different from what you have in other projects. It's quite old, tested, everything's working. So the focus is on traction, and once we have the traction, we will be focusing on developers. So we must make sure that development on waves is easy. There is some kind of funding that you can get to launch your project. We're going to be launching a launch pad soon. So traction for now, just we must show that we have a technology which is good and on which you can build great projects. And after that, we'll be actually focusing on developers.
Dude, I gotta ask you, man, why ducks? Of like, you got all the animals in the world to choose from. And I don't think it's a bad decision, man. I really like ducks, but I assume like at some point conversation must have been
very interesting story. It's interesting
people
story.
Put their heads together and they were like, everyone decided we're going to roll with ducks and that's the path forward. So yes, man, what's the duck story?
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually. So my kid loves ducks, Donald Duck, and he reads comics about ducks, all of them. And this is one thing. And basically, this is what actually maybe brought me to ducks. But when we had pandemics, everything was closed, and I went to the office every day still because I don't live far from the office. And there was not many people, no traffic because everybody stayed home. But there was like a couple of ducks that I saw every day. It was incredible because they just followed me. I'm not bullshitting. Actually, it's true. I really can't explain this because I walked from my apartment to the office, and it takes maybe 3 minutes, and the ducks followed me. So and they seemed totally confident, and they totally in control. No people, but only ducks, and they just cross the road where you had a very hard traffic, heavy traffic before. So it's like a center of Moscow, basically. Yeah, it's right in the center of Moscow. And there's Kremlin, and there's a huge bridge, stone bridge it's called. It's tons of traffic, regularly now as well. But we had some period of time when there was no traffic, and those dogs just crossed the bridge in front of Kremlin, and it was something amazing, really. So, and they didn't care about people, and I thought that the dogs are the true rulers of the world. They just don't care about us. They just don't see us. We don't know about them, but when you don't see people, you understand. When there is not people who overshadow the ducks, you understand that they might be the true kings of this world. So, and then it's maybe 1 year ago, and I posted some pictures on my Twitter actually, because of that ducks couple. And after that, I started collecting ducks, and I started thinking about this duck game, and it materialized actually only now because we had different ideas to do some kind of different gameplay. But now actually we came up with the right idea and we launched this.
Very cool.
So glad I asked.
Yeah.
Great story.
Really good story.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then my question is kind of a two-parter. I'm curious, before Waves Ducks, if you were to take a snapshot of the user base of people that were utilizing the DEX and the other dApps that have been built out on Waves, where were most of these users from predominantly? And then after Waves Ducks, did you see sort of a differentiation in your user base? Did you see a lot of folks outside of that maybe core region or country base?
So basically, so we were initially a Russian project, so we're not really focusing on some geography. Most of the developers were in Russia initially. Now this is not the case. So we have several regions. Russia, because we were initially in Russia. We have a lot of people from Turkey. Now Vietnam, a lot of people from India. So it's quite widespread, So I don't know, for example, why we have so many Turkish people, but we do, So Europeans, so a lot of Dutch people, Waves is quite popular in Holland, historically. And it doesn't depend on location. Everybody loves this game the same way, and it's not really dependent on geography and on culture even, so it goes beyond culture, I guess, so this thing is for everybody. It doesn't matter what culture you have, more or less. You need to understand ducks, you need to understand payments, and you're good to go, so this is what's great about crypto, because it reaches out to all demographics, to all peoples in the same way, so it's something very basic. Crypto is something very basic because money is basic, payments are basic. So that's what I love about crypto, because it goes beyond some kind of geography, culture. It goes to more deep roots of humanity. So we have it everywhere, and I think that we'll be able to scale to any locations.
Dude, one thing we always like to ask people as we sort of get to a close of the podcast here is we're always interested in other projects that our guests are interested in, or NFTs that you may have collected that may not necessarily be directly related to Waves, or maybe other projects on Waves. But curious, if we were to take a peek into your crypto or NFT wallet, what other things we would see in there. But also, dude, I'm also completely wondering how many ducks you got in there as well. I would.
Yeah. So I have
some duck info.
Yeah, my kid is playing the game heavily,
That's
so
cool.
I showed it to him. I sent him some Waves, I guess, or X. I don't remember. Or either I think he bought some X with Waves that I sent him. And he has probably around 20 ducks, and he makes, I guess, 1 egg per day, which is around $200 a day. And he's 8 years old, so I think it's a good money for him. So yeah, he doesn't really realize that, because he spends them on some other games. Unfortunately, on some I won't give you the names to promote those games, but he spends them on some other games in Apple App Store. But still, he makes $200 a day, which is amazing for an 8-year-old, So, and maybe I have around. I don't play that much. I don't have any other NFTs because I'd like to have some skin in the game. So I basically don't have any non-Waves tokens, and I have only Waves. I have no Waves tokens. But I definitely tested all the mechanics. I bought some eggs, so I have around 10 different ducks to just understand better how we can make the ducks more exciting. So for me, it's not a way to make profit right now. So for me, it's a way to promote Waves. So I'm not really focusing on making profit. I'm focusing on how to attract as many people to Waves as possible.
That's cool. And then before we do wrap up, I just want to make sure that our listeners, if they're curious to learn more about Waves and then Waves Ducks and then any of the other projects that you have, where should they be following you on social? What are the websites they should know about?
I'm active on Twitter mostly for now. So it's SHA Sasha 35 625. So some kind of crazy handle that I've had for years. So and also follow all our Telegram channels. But if you follow my Twitter, I'll be grateful, because I post a lot about ducks there and about everything interesting that we have on Waves, and we have a lot of interesting things right now actually with Waves ducks.
Cool. And then real quick, Sasha 35625, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, just make sure we got that. Oh my God, I'm following you. You have a crazy amount of followers, 120,000. Jesus.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have a couple of followers,
Duck game, man. Don't sleep on the ducks.
Awesome. Well, Sasha, this is a really fun conversation that we had. It was really cool to dig down deeper into Waves, as well as the other projects that you're building out, and of course, Waves Ducks. It sounds brilliant, and Rizzle is already like foaming at the mouth trying to scoop some ducks. So that's really cool.
Yeah, check it out, guys. You're gonna love it, I'm sure, because it's fun. Everybody loves it. I haven't met anybody who didn't like it, So just check it out and try it.
Oh yeah. Awesome. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and keep on building, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the show. Just want to give a quick message from this month's sponsor, Crypto Motors. On July 29th, Crypto Motors, the world's first digital automaker powered by the Ethereum network, will launch the Gen 1 Neon Roadster drop, which includes 150 unique NFT production series cars with 5 original striking colors. The last launch sold out in minutes, so make sure you are quick to secure a Neon Roadster of your own. They will be available for purchase on OpenSea and distributed in 3 batches. Batch number 1 launches July 29th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Batch number 2 launches the next day on July 30th, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and batch number 3 launches July 31st at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Be on the lookout for ultra-rare hidden units that are virtual racer Neon Roadster models featuring a unique design, color, and other trait attributes. More details about the drop, available units, hidden units, and colors can also be found on Crypto Motors Medium page. And you can also follow the drop and join the Crypto Motors community via Discord. Look out for those links in the show notes, and see everyone next episode.